All right, everybody, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on?
Hello, hello, hello.
Yo, we are back for another episode for Just a Fan podcast. It's the one, the only. Well, people call me the NFL Encyclopedia. Okay, cool. But I'm Brandon Williams. What's up, y'all? And then to my right on the screen, well, that way, you know, that's Pando, the one from H Town that always turns stuff up, man, causing chaos like the old Blitzburg defense.
Dance puppets, dance.
What's going on, Pando? How you doing?
Man, I'm good. I'm trying to catch my breath because I'm trying to keep up with all of these free agent acquisitions and these signings that are going on. And it has been like you see me looking down, I'm looking at my phone. I'm constantly checking my phone for updates. So let's get it crack a lacking. We got a lot to cover. I know we're not gonna have enough time to cover everything, but this is one of our free agent shows. So let's go.
Actually, this is our first free agent. Well, actually,
This the
yeah,
first one.
yeah, this first one because we just talked about the Russell Wilson trade last week. So that I mean that wasn't like free agency, but yeah, whatever. Um, First, let's talk about just a little bit about Tom Brady coming back, man, to Tampa Bay out of nowhere. Um, Now it's just gonna be his 23rd season. Gonna be 45 years old by the time the season begins. This man was drafted when I was in high school. Like I don't mi- I, like I don't mind people trying to like prove a point, but also at the same time, there comes to a point where you just need to stop, and that's just me. You know, you know, whatever. You're back, but I'm done. So go ahead, Panda. What you got, man?
Hey man, I'm gonna be real with you, and people gonna say I'm crazy, but I'm time always proves me right. Uh, Bottom line is Tom Brady was never intending on retiring. It, Follow me here. Tom Brady
Okay,
was not intending on retiring. He wasn't
go
because
for it.
Tom Brady is a me type of person. I'm sorry, he is. You know, you
So
gonna
is
say
Aaron,
he's the ultimate teammate, and he's the team, and yeah, when he between them white lines, yeah, he a team. He's a good teammate, but he likes attention.
so does Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers too. They
Hmm.
are two of the probably most narcissistic quarterbacks in the NFL. So they're like me. So Tom Brady was like, all this attention is going everywhere else and everything like that. You know what I'm gonna do to get some attention because the Rams just won the Super Bowl and other stuff going on everywhere else. I need the attention on me. I'm gonna retire. Then things died down. Nobody was talking about anything. You know what? I'm gonna come out of retirement because I know I'm gonna dominate the news cycle if I come out of retirement. And sure enough, NFL memes had a field day talking about Tom Brady coming back. I'm going down my timeline. That's all people talking about is Tom Brady. And he's sitting there going, yeah. So I don't like I say, I don't even call it a retirement, man. I think he just went on a sabbatical. Like,
He went on vacation.
yeah, he went on a vacation and was like,
Yeah.
I think Giselle even knew. I don't even think she was in the dark. I was like, look, I'm doing this so I can get the news cycle on me. So I'm just letting you know, baby. I am going back. But I'm telling all these fools I'm retired. And so he goes, surprise, I'm back. Come on, bro. Come on. Now the fallout from that for everybody else is going to affect the rest of this free agent period, and it has, in a lot of ways, has affected it.
Yes, it has
It's gonna.
because I think one of the guards came back, but they lost their center Ryan Jensen.
Mm-hmm,
They lost another guard, but they just traded for Shaq Mason from New England today.
mm-hmm.
So
Russell Gage just signed. He left Atlanta, but let's be honest, like who don't want out of Atlanta? But but I mean, Russell Gage went, who's a very good number three wide receiver, which they were kind of lacking this season. Because if Godwin comes back and he's in good shape and his knee is okay, and you still got Mike Evans, now you
Mhm.
got that slot guy, and now you got problems.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
So, Gronk was probably teetering with the idea of retirement, but then it was like, hey, my BFF is coming back.
Now the thing is, I'm surprised he hasn't made an official announcement to go back by now.
Yeah, he
I'm
was that.
I'm I'm,
Was he
I'm
on
not.
a 1 year deal? Was he on a 1 year deal, or was he on?
He's a free agent.
He's a free agent. Okay, you know,
Yeah,
I
he's
didn't
a free.
think
He's a free agent. So I'm like, okay, you haven't signed yet, or are you really going to leave Tampa Bay and go somewhere else?
no, he ain't looking at that. Look, either look for Gronkowski's gonna be one of two things, man. It's real simple. He's gonna either come back or he's really gonna retire. And I can tell you right now, with Gronk, if Brady's back and Gronk is retiring, he really retiring. He's not playing. He's like Gronkowski is not playing.
Hmm.
If he say he retired with Brady being back, okay. But I'm gonna tell you what, it sure enough sweetens the pot if the quarterback that made you an All Pro is back and you ain't got to learn. Like I know if I'm an old savvy veteran, I've been catching most of my touchdowns from the same guy, and I came out of retirement to go to the team he went to, and then he retires. Man, I'm gonna go to the house. Oh, he back? You know what? I'll think about it. I bet you he's thinking about it. I'm not saying he's gonna come back. I'm not saying he's retiring, but I can bet doggone sure he's thinking about it. He's thinking about it. He like, hey man, we can run it back. We was real close. If Todd Bowles hadn't called a zero blitz on that play, then maybe we'd have been in the NFC Championship playing
And
San
if they,
Francisco. You know,
and they do bring back both their coordinators on both offense and defense. They both were coaching candidates, even though one of them should be in Jacksonville. But that's a whole nother topic.
I don't
Whole
even
nother
want to
topic for.
talk about. Don't get me. We're gonna
for
talk about Jacksonville later on in this show. I'm talking about how Jacksonville is overpaying for somebody and then cut their leading tackle
hmm
Duval. But but yeah, we gonna get into that. So
Definitely.
before we go into this, another thing about this free agent stuff. Yes, this is me saying I was right again. On last week's show, everybody thought I was crazy when the Russell Wilson trade happened. Denver sent a boatload of picks over to Seattle, and I said they're not trying to keep them picks. I felt like Steven on Django. They not here talking about no buck fighting. They here for that girl. That's what I told y'all. I said they not trying to hold on to them picks. They trying to package them picks together so they can get Deshaun Watson. And everybody thought I was nuts. And remember, I told you, you heard it here first. Now, fast forward about a week, Seattle made a play for Deshaun Watson. But did you know what Deshaun Watson said? Because he has a no trade clause. I ain't going over there. What's wrong with y'all? I ain't going over there. So they did all of that to try to get Deshaun Watson. And Deshaun Watson vetoed the trade, which he's smart for doing. But that is. So you heard it here first.
Mm.
So when I say something, y'all gotta believe me when I say something, man. Y'all gotta believe me. So let's get into these. We're gonna talk about basically three categories tonight.
Hold on, real quick, Pando. It's not major news. It's probably mid-level news, but
Okay.
former Washington football team offensive tackle and New York Jets offensive tackle Morgan Moses just signed a 3-year, $15 million contract with the Baltimore Ravens.
Oh, we was talking about that earlier on the Marco group. So they
No,
doing something with that offensive line group, that
yeah,
offensive line room.
they're trying to get the offensive line better. Trying to protect the young that quarterback going to his second year, Zach Wilson, man.
Wait, you said he went to the
No,
Jets or he
no.
went to
I'm
the
sorry. I'm sorry.
Ravens?
He went to Ravens. I'm sorry. He went to Ravens. I'm
Okay, so
sorry.
yeah, you
I'm
trying
sorry.
to protect, yeah,
Yeah,
you trying to,
sorry, wrong quarterback.
yeah, because maybe, just maybe, uh, Greg Roman can call some really good pass plays for a change instead of just passing on third down when you run on first and second and it don't work.
we
I'm
we're
just
not
saying.
we're not saying be Steve Spurrier, but you can throw the ball occasionally on first down.
Yeah, 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 Greg Roman. Yeah, be unpredictable, Greg Roman. Okay. All right. So we talking about three different categories of what's going on in the free agent frenzy, which of course is not over. The legal tampering period is
Has
coming to
started.
a close. And we're as Wednesday, we're actually inking these contracts. We're putting ink on the contract, so it's up tomorrow. But these teams, these players have agreed in terms with these teams and in principle, and we pretty much have destinations for a lot of people. So the first thing we're going to talk about is some of the biggest, most influential signings uh, that we've seen. Okay, I just the 49ers just tendered offensive line Daniel Brunskill, first right of refusal.
Hmm.
2.43 million. That's not bad. So they just tendered Daniel Brunskill. That's the right guard. That's kind of inconsequential. He's not a big name. He's the right guard for the 49ers. But I digress. We're going to talk about some of these more influential signings, some of these people moving and how they're going to affect their team. The second category is we're going to talk about guys who moved to another team, but maybe shouldn't have got what they got. You know what I'm saying? Hey, more power to them. Make your money, get your bread, stack your cheddar, protect your chicken. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I'm not knocking the players, but I am knocking the front office for paying them for that much. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, if somebody offered me 6 figures to do my job, which is well overpaying, I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm gonna just show up to work and get my check. So I
There
ain't I ain't
you,
mad at them for that.
there you go.
So and then we're also gonna be talking about transactions that we would have thought have happened by now, but we kind of sitting there going, okay, well, what is this guy doing? Or what is this team doing? So those are 3 categories we're gonna kind of dig into tonight. B, I've been talking for like the first almost, I don't know, 20 minutes. So I'm gonna shut up. Let's talk about the first category, some of the big influential signings that we saw these last 24, 48 hours. Uh Give me somebody who really what stuck out to you.
What stuck out to me is let's go down south to Miami. Not saying they were really big, but bringing in Connor Williams to the veteran offensive line, they probably try to clean up some of his mistakes that he's making in Dallas. They brought in Cedric Wilson to either be the number two, number three receiver. I know they have Jalen Waddle, so that's their anchor.
Hey, they
At
got
rec-
Jalen Waddle and Devontae Parker.
okay, yeah, so Cedric Wilson will be the number three receiver then, because like I said, Waddle was the anchor, Parker's two, so then Wilson the three. That gives Tua Tagovailoa another weapon to throw the ball to. Um,
Let's not forget they re-signed Mike Gesicki, so they have a complement of targets to
yeah,
Tua.
definitely, yeah. 11 personnel is definitely on tap down there. Connor Williams should be a good zone blocking offensive lineman for them. They signed a running back from Arizona. It
Chase
was
Edmonds.
yeah,
Chase,
Chase Edmonds. Yeah,
Chase
Chase Edmonds.
Edmonds.
That's exactly what it was. So, um,
And see with McDaniel down there, I know a little bit about him because he was offense coordinator for my team. McDaniels is in that Shanahan system that believes in platooning running backs.
yep.
So they're not asking Chase Edmond or Salvin Ahmed or none of those other running backs to be the bell cow. They're gonna
Nah.
be these guys gonna be coming in and out of games. So you're shuffling fresh backs into the game
Yep.
if they do it right,
Yep.
which again protects your quarterback because oh God, they finna run it. Let's load the box. And Tua has a great deep ball. Now he's got a bunch of great targets he can rely on.
Yes, definitely. So
So
next this year we should
yeah,
really, really know who Tua Tagovailoa is because, like I said, 11 personnel should be great. Um, you have a great offensive minded coach, and he is a great run designer. So running the ball should not be a problem for Miami. Throwing the ball off of play action bootlegs is going to be different for them down there. Um, are they going to compete for the division title? They're going to push for the division title. They're not going to necessarily like compete because Buffalo is just too much. Is just too good.
yeah, I was gonna
Um,
say that Buffalo is there, but I'm not
n-
gonna
now,
crown anybody yet. This is way too early.
yeah, it's way too early. Now, my problem with Buffalo is they lost a couple of. I think no, it's Beasley's still there, right? But I think Sanders retired. Beasley, I think, is still there right now. But one time he was trade bait.
I
S-
can check right quick. Buffalo. Um, yeah.
Let me see.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah. So
Buffalo.
Oh, I
Yeah.
clicked on the wrong thing. But yeah, Buffalo. I think Sanders retired. I think Beasley. He wasn't traded. I think he had. Didn't they give him permission to seek a trade? If I'm
Yeah.
not
He does have permission to seek a trade, but it just hasn't happened yet, which I'm surprised.
right, which they can kind of go into our third category, talking about people who we thought would have been traded by now that haven't been. Um, so who knows what's going to happen in Buffalo? Like I said, it's way too early
Yeah,
to, to,
definitely.
to, to crown a division title winner. But to be fair, Miami has done some good things for themselves.
Yeah,
And let's be honest, going back to a few shows back, where Tristan was talking about how unfairly
Brian Flores.
Flores was treated
Yeah, definitely.
because he had a team on the rise. So Mike McDaniel's, no fault of his own, is inheriting. He's not inheriting a trash team.
No, not at all. Not at all.
This is a good team that a few pieces here and there, and next thing you know, you're maybe 2 rounds deep in the playoffs
And
or further.
and
You
and and,
know,
and they have a couple good corners back there. And Xavier Howard and Byron Jones, who's been
absolutely,
they've been locking down some receivers. So
absolutely,
they have a chance to do something.
yeah.
Okay.
So
What
talking
about you?
about all right, so big signing. I'm kind of looking at Lakin Tomlinson, who goes to the Jets.
Okay.
That was a huge thing for the Jets because maybe Zach Wilson isn't running for his life now.
Right. Now
You
I get
know,
it. I get it. And actually, because with Lincoln Tomlinson, they drafted Elijah Vera Tucker last year at guard, so they set up the middle. Um,
and then
now
they picked up they drafted a guy I want to say 2 years ago. What's the tackle's name? He was
Makai
really good.
Becton.
Mekhi Becton.
I heard that they trying to get on him about his weight, so he's gonna be competing for that left tackle position with another guy. I think named George Fant or something like that, which I never heard of him. But they need to get that left tackle straight, so that way his blind side is good. But like I said, up the middle he's good because, like you said, Tomlinson, then Vera Tucker. So they need to get themselves a WR1, and they might be able to attack that in the draft. We'll see.
And this it's a wide receiver rich draft.
Definitely.
Another name that jumps out at me, and they're not the sexy names, they're not skill positions, but Brandon Sheriff leaving the Washington Commanders, going to the Jaguars. Um, yeah, that's big. He's one of the better guards in the league. Um, I'm looking at the beef up front. Uh,
Right.
that's like you really can't shake a stick at that stuff. You successful teams win when they get strong up front, whether it's defense or offense. You win games in the trenches,
Definitely.
you know. And the people talk about this wide receiver, and this running back, and this corner, and this. But at the end of the day, it's what's going on in the trenches, and these guys moving around that are, or these guys staying at home rather, that are helping these lines both offensively and defensively have really turned into something. Khalil Mack being traded to the Chargers, that's not really a free agent signing, but I mean we can go ahead and include that. That's
Yes.
another big one. you know then they turn around and sign JC Jackson.
Yeah.
So they're saying, hey man, we all in because the West is dirty. Whether you talk about the NFC or the AFC, the West is, man, hey,
The
some of the
West is the
best
best.
football
The
this
West is the
next
best.
season. Yes, some of the best football next season is going to be played out in the West. Whether you talk about the AFC or the NFC, so
Definitely.
it's huge. Justin Reed, that's my last one, going to the Chiefs. Um, these are all kind of under the radar big signings for me, in my opinion, because them signing Justin Reed is telling me that they're saying goodbye to Tyrann Matthew. They're not even trying to get him back. They going with the youth movement. They going young.
So
Justin
actually,
Reed has the ability to play inside the box, and he can cover the deep middle. He's like one of the most underrated safeties in this free agent class. So Yeah, I'm sorry. You gonna say something? Go ahead.
Yeah, I was
So,
gonna say, Tyrann Matthew, sounded like he wasn't gonna come back, so that's why they brought him in. I guess I'm assuming he's out of their price range, whatever that price is.
yeah. I tell you what though, Justin Reed is really underrated as a player because
Okay.
he's been on a bad team for so long.
Yeah,
Nobody,
he's
unless you just really looking at him, you don't know that he's Justin Reed's better than his brother. Eric Reed is his older brother. He used to play for
okay.
the 49ers and the
Yes, yes,
Panthers,
yes, yes.
came out of LSU.
Right.
Justin Reed is a very underrated safety. Because he's the modern safety because he has the ability to play both positions.
Okay.
Like modern safeties nowadays is like, you know, excuse me, safeties beforehand. You was a box guy or you was a deep middle guy.
Exactly.
Deep ball safety. This guy has the ability, he has the speed and the range to play deep ball, but he has the tenacity and the toughness to go in the box and stick his head in there on the run play. So honestly, at this point in their careers, Justin Reed is an upgrade over the Honey Badger. And people that's like that don't know him. What you talking about, man? It's the Honey Badger, man. Honey Badger getting up there, man.
Yes,
We've
he
seen him
is.
take the hits. We've seen the injuries. We're not saying he trash, but time moves on. You got to get younger. That's been that's a hill I'm willing to down. You got to get younger if you want to stay competitive.
Definitely.
So yeah. All right. So let's talk about some people that got some paydays. That
Probably shouldn't have.
Yeah, like what was the GM thinking? Since you started with the previous category, I'm gonna start with this one.
All right, go
And
for it.
this, first of all, let me say this: Trent Baalke is a walking football abomination.
There you go.
Okay, he completely destroyed the 49ers when he was there. He ran off a coach with a winning record. He got a coach with a winning record fired in Jim Harbaugh. And Jay York, I'm still mad to this day that he fired the wrong person. It took Harbaugh to leave and go to Michigan for Jed York to realize, oh my God, this guy is terrible. I need to fire him too. And I fired the wrong guy. It's too late. I can't get Jim Harbaugh back. Trent Baalke ran the Niners into the ground as a GM. And he's slowly but surely doing the same thing in Jacksonville. Christian Kirk signed a $21 million a year deal. Now, y'all probably saying, what's wrong with that? I'm about to tell you what's wrong with that. Okay, for those of y'all who read comic books, everybody's heard of Batman. The new movie's out, The Batman. Okay, we ain't talking about that one. Okay, that was kind of like a film noir type detective thriller. I'm talking about like Batman from like the DC comics. Okay, like the Batman, and there was Robin. Okay, so the first Robin was Dick Grayson. Okay, the next Robin I think was Tim Drake, I believe.
Okay.
Okay. Dick Grayson grew up, he grew out of the Robin mantle, and he became Nightwing. But he was still doing like, little escapades with Batman. He was still Batman's sidekick. Where you going with this, Eric? Okay. Allow me to explain. Christian Kirk has never been a number one wide receiver, and they paying him number one wide receiver money.
Anchor.
They paying him Batman money.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And if you want me to go give you some examples of some wide receivers who've been Batman, but throughout the entire history of the NFL, Jerry Rice is a Batman. Randy Moss is a Batman.
Chris Carter.
Chris Carter became Robin later when Randy
Whoa.
Moss.
Yeah.
But Terrell Owens is a Batman.
Michael
Okay.
Irvin.
Michael Irvin was a Batman.
Right.
Okay. So if you want some examples of some Robins, okay, I'm gonna give you some Robins. John Taylor was Jerry Rice's Robin.
Alvin Harper.
Alvin Harper was Michael Irvin's Robin.
Peerless
Okay.
Price.
Exact. Peerless Price was
Eric Modes.
Eric Moles.
Exactly.
So you have your Robins. Christian Kirk is a Robin, and they
Yes.
paying him Batman money.
Hey.
Okay. And he's completely breaking the wide receiver market. Because right now, after they paid him that money, you got guys like Devontae Adams and Deebo Samuel looking at this going.
And guess what?
Hey,
Guess what? I heard that Devontae Adams turned down $25 million a year.
exactly. That's my point. Because if I'm Devontae Adams, I know my worth. The whole freaking NFL knows my worth. I'm a top 3 receiver in this league.
Hey, minimum.
Okay. And you paying a guy who's not even Nightwing. You paying Tim Drake $21 million.
Who's
Okay.
who's only had one season over 800 yards
Come on now.
receiving.
Come on
One.
now. And you're probably saying, you're saying, Christian Kirk had a good season last year. Beware of the guy that has a great season during his contract year and hasn't done anything prior to that.
But also though,
Always beware of that guy.
but also though, DeAndre Hopkins. No, who
I
got
was
hurt?
getting to that. I
Yeah,
was getting to that.
Hopkins got hurt.
He was forced into duty, which means he got more targets because of DeAndre Hopkins' injury. So it was him and AJ Green. If DeAndre Hopkins isn't injured, Christian Kirk is a number 3. He's not even Dick Grayson. He's Tim Drake. He's not the first Robin. He's like the second or third Robin. So, but you paying him the Dark Knight money. You paying him Bruce Wayne money.
Hey, guess what? Another comparison is Sonic and Tails. Sonic's the main guy. Tails the
My
second guy.
son loves Sonic the Hedgehog. Well, yo, don't, because he in the next room. If he hear this, man, he gonna come busting in on the broadcast.
Uh-oh.
But he broke the wide receiver market by doing it, and that's Trent Baalke's fault. Okay, because now going back, Devontae Adams don't want 25 million. Devontae Adams probably want closer to 30. Debo Samuel damn sure gonna want that amount of money or more. And this is his last year, his contract coming up in 2022.
Yeah, Devontae Adams probably wants 28 million minimum.
Like I say, close to 30.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Debo probably gonna want the same because I'm telling you right now, if I'm Debo Samuel, I want that because I got 1,400 yards with a bum quarterback.
Hey,
I can say, hey, Devontae did that with a future Hall of Famer, a guy that's been an MVP. I had to do that with Jimmy Garoppolo. I got 1,400 yards, and I ain't counting the rushing yards. I'm talking about just the receiving yards, ladies and gentlemen. Look it up. Debo Samuel had 1,400 receiving yards with Jimmy Garoppolo throwing him the ball. Okay, so I'm like, excuse me? He got 21? Oh, our doggone show better get 28, 29 somewhere up in there. So thank you, Trent Baalke, for destroying the wide receiver market. Russell Gage, I think he got like a 3-year, $30 million contract, something like that.
Just to be a number 3 wide
Just to be a
receiver.
number 3. Just to be a number 3.
Number 3.
So Trent Baalke has completely damaged it. Now, Christian Kirk, if you ever watch this, I doubt you'll ever watch this, but if you watch this, man, I'm proud of you. Get your money.
Hell, but you're not an anchor.
Yeah, but you're not Batman, okay? Mm-hmm. You're not an anchor. So,
nope.
But I ain't mad at you. Get your money. Get your money, homie. It ain't your fault that Trent Baalke dumb and mismanaging money. And then they turn around and release Miles Jack, who was their leading tackle last year.
Who's one of the best off-ball linebackers in the NFL, man, and has been for the last few seasons.
Trent Baalke is a walking football abomination.
And the thing is, Miles Jack is only 26 years old. I thought he was a little bit older than that.
He's a younger guy. He's still got a lot of football ahead of him. Hell, if you want to be fair, you can still say he's kind of still developing. He still hasn't, now when you get close to 30, he's 29, 28, something like that. We know what you are.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay? Right.
But you can still say that this man's still developing. Like you take Miles Jack and stick him with a good linebacker coach. All his discrepancies in his game could disappear, honestly. Because he's still young. But Trent Baalke, I'm just saying. All right, yeah, they giving Trevor Lawrence some targets. That's great. They got him some protection. That's great. But what are you paying for it? You know what I'm saying? Like let's not pay over market value. All right. So I'm through with that. Well, who's your overpaid guy, Brandon?
I don't know if he's gonna be overpaid or not, but it's somewhat buyer beware. And he could either be Chandler Jones or Belichick could be correct. And yes, I'm going with J.C. Jackson of New England. Yes, he's been great in man coverage. Yes, he gets interceptions. Yes, he does all that. I get it.
So wait, so you talking about Chandler? Oh, that was the next category, guys. That you think Chandler Jones is going to be overpaid?
No. I'm wondering if J.C. Jackson is overpaid. I just don't know. I mean, not San Diego. Lord, L.A. Chargers did get better by bringing him in and bringing the what's the other edge rusher they brought in? You just said his name too.
Khalil Mack.
Khalil Mack, yes. So they did get better, and that will help him a whole lot. But I just wonder if LA system is just different enough where JC Jackson doesn't produce the same as New England because everyone's cover scheme is somewhat different some way somehow. And if they change anything for JC Jackson, he may not have that same kind of success and he could end up being overpaid. We don't know that now,
Okay, I see what you're
but
saying.
but this could be something that we could possibly find out 2 to 3 years down the road.
And see this is something I agree with you on, and a lot of people, I'm the controversial one. I don't care if people don't they disagree with me because 9 times out of 10 I'm proven right. Time proves me right. I've been wrong, but most of the time I've been proven right.
And guess
And,
what? I could be wrong too. I could be
and
wrong.
but the trend when New England does not keep a guy in house, they know something about him, and they especially at this young, he's it's such a young age as a player. You
Yes,
know, New England does not let unchecked talent leave. Very
exactly,
rarely do that. The only time they've ever done that was with Chandler Jones. But any
exactly,
other time, most of the guys that New England either trades or that they allow to walk in free agency, they know something. They know something's up. They are very good about that. They're like, okay, yeah, we'll let you go. They'll bring up the value of this guy, and they'll have this guy prop his value up, and
hmm
teams are just clamoring, they're clawing for him and everything. And then the next thing you know, they wind up with another team. They get this huge payday, and they're never quite the player they were in New England.
exactly. Because I mean, if you look at you remember Malcolm Butler? He got that out of nowhere
Woo!
interception in
That's
the
a prime
Super Bowl.
example. That's a
He got
prime
he,
example.
he got the out of nowhere interception in the Super Bowl.
Hmm.
He made it to the Pro Bowl in 2015. He made second team All Pro in 2016. They let him go after the 2017 season, and he didn't do anything.
Yeah,
So my
they don't too often let talent out the building. If you
right,
still got something that they can use,
mhm,
you're not leaving. They gonna sit down with you and we gonna figure this money thing out. You ain't leaving New England.
right.
But
So
if they willing to let him leave like that, that is buyer beware. Because it's
exactly.
like, wait a minute, something ain't right.
So my question is J.C. Jackson Chandler Jones or is he Malcolm Butler? And time will find out.
Time will tell. It's
Time
going
will tell.
we'll see.
Yeah.
He could be Chandler Jones. He could be just
Hey.
he's still busting out 8 interceptions, 5 interceptions. If he get 5 interceptions, he doing good.
Yeah.
He worth the money.
Right.
You know. Uh
But if he's getting burnt like Eli Apple, then no.
yeah, no, I don't think anybody can get burned like Eli Apple is Freddy Krueger. Okay. Freddy Krueger sleeping on a barbecue pit. That's Eli Apple. Okay. So we ain't gonna get into that because we can go on all night talking about how we're not gonna do that. All right. So transactions, and I use the term transaction because it could be a signing of a free agent, it could be a trade, um, and or it could be just a trade that we think should happen or something along those lines. Transactions that have not occurred, and we're like, whoa, we would have thought this person would have been moved 2 days ago by Sunday night, Monday morning.
Right.
So I'm gonna give you the floor. Let's what you got?
Uh I tell you what. Well, we did talk about Chandler Jones a little bit, so that's a surprise. He is 32, but I still believe he can produce. Let me see who else is free agents right now. Oh, Turn Armstead, the offensive tackle for the Saints. You know,
Ron Armstead.
for Armstead, who's a left tackle, to still be a free agent is crazy because
This is true because the
you
brother
would,
the brother can ball.
yeah, and
Uh,
you would think that like well, now I should say everybody because y'all don't need left tackle, we don't need a left tackle, but teams that need a left tackle and have the money would have paid this man by now.
yeah, I don't get that. That's one of those chin scratches, those head scratches, whatever you want to call it, because it's like because he is one of those guys you kind of like. why is this guy that why is this guy not off the board? Well, you call it off the board when
Exactly.
he's a quality left tackle.
Right.
I haven't looked up his stats yet or his PFF grade, but I'm pretty sure it's nice. But yeah, that's really weird. I can go with either Chandler Jones or Stephon Gilmore. The only thing
You,
I can attribute with either one of those to age, maybe.
yeah. Yeah. I'm looking at Gilmore now too. 30. Yeah, 31 years old. But if you can, if you know how to use him, he can still be effective for the time being. Let's see. Okay, I'm not gonna worry about Jadavion Clowney because he just
No, stop it.
no. I'm done with clowning.
Yeah,
I
he's gonna be on that second to last wave of free agency. Like when everybody trying to flesh out their rosters.
yeah.
Yeah, let's call Jadavian because by now he gonna understand that what we offer him he need to take.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah. Me personally, I'm finished with clowning. I can care less. Who else? See, Aaron Gums 33. Juice just got released. Yeah, I'm gonna stop there. I'm not gonna worry about Juju Smith. Forget it. He's a number two. But yeah, so yeah, those are the guys I'm surprised haven't signed. I'm surprised Allen Robinson hasn't signed yet either. He needs to he needs to have a bounce back career because he had you talking about Debo Samuel had a terrible quarterback with Jimmy Garoppolo. Allen Robinson had a terrible quarterback with Mitch Trubisky.
and I want to talk about that since we got a little time. We actually hit a schedule for the first time in one of our shows. I want to talk about that for a minute. But go
Okay.
ahead.
Yeah, no, because Allen Robinson, 29 years old, like he was real nice down in Jacksonville. He goes to Chicago, and they have this quarterback and Mr. Trubisky, who name should be. Oh, do you remember turnover Tommy Maddox used to quarterback in Pittsburgh.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. That's turnover junior right there, Mr. Trubisky, turnover junior.
Now since we that's a good segue since you're bringing up Mr. Trubisky because I want to talk about since we talking about
Okay,
transactions.
okay, 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 okay. We won't get to him in a
Okay,
minute.
because I'm chomping at the bit right now because you know where
But
I want to go.
but Allen Robinson needs to go somewhere. I'm not saying he needs to go to Green Bay where they have a fantastic quarterback, but go somewhere where they have a better quarterback than what Mr. Biscuit was, man. And put those numbers back up because you're more than capable of doing so. You really are. Just go somewhere. Don't go to Detroit where they have Jared Goff. No, go somewhere where they have a need for no. Actually, you know what? And even though this is probably not going to happen, go to Baltimore.
You know what? We tried to tell them, but they didn't want to hear us.
Go to Baltimore.
We tried to tell them, but they didn't want to hear us.
Fire Greg Roman. Go to Baltimore and let me be your OC. There you go.
We tried to tell them, but they didn't want to hear us because we were talking about. I think was it last week we were talking about. Amari Cooper, and a good place for him would probably be Baltimore because they need a number one.
There
I
you
think it was,
go. Yes,
I
we sure
can't.
did.
My days run together. I can't remember we talked about it off camera or whether we talked about it in the show. But I'm like what how could you not try to make a play for him when you starve? You got a team full of Robins. You don't have a Batman for
Hmm.
Lamar Jackson.
There you go.
But so I digress. Let's get back to talking about Mr. Trubisky and his new home in Pittsburgh.
Turnover Junior. Hey, you know what? Pittsburgh don't have a quarterback. They. Oh, by the way, you talking about now? See, you know what you guys say? I have something similar. Go ahead with Trubisky, and I'm gonna stay. But I'm gonna keep my But I'm gonna piggyback off of you. Just a different quarterback in Pittsburgh. Go first.
Okay, so first thing first, everybody that has been watching this show since I've been on the knows that I'm a 49ers fan. Okay. And right now, the San Francisco 49ers, John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan are trying to trade Jimmy Garoppolo. Okay, Jimmy Garoppolo, if he is traded or released, will get us $25.6 million in cap space back. I understand they're trying to get something for him. They don't want to just let him walk out the door. But this fits into my transactions that should have happened already. But check this out. Jimmy Garoppolo's a bum. And they talk about Grant Cohn has talked about it all the time. It's like the market is drying out or is cratered out for Jimmy Garoppolo. Let's be real. Was it ever a market? Because let me tell you something. If an NFL team, listen to me now, if an NFL team is willing to sign Mitch Trubisky, come on now, over Jimmy Garoppolo, that says a lot about Jimmy Garoppolo. And we ain't talking about some Rudy Poodle organization. We talking about an organization that's got their stuff together like the Pittsburgh Steelers for the
Hmm.
most part.
And
We
they've had
talking
this.
about we talking
They
about an organization that has what 4 coaches in the last half century? Three coaches in like the half,
they
so
they've had their stuff together since Chuck Noll of the '70s.
always in contention, pretty much. Very
Yes,
rarely not in contention.
definitely.
Every year. And they said, okay, we can give a couple of second rounders to San Francisco for Jimmy Garoppolo, or we can just sign Mitch Trubisky off the bench from Buffalo. But Mitch Trubisky, he was a first rounder, now he on the bench. Jimmy Garoppolo started a bunch of games. That's all right. Give me Mitch Trubisky. Do you know what that says about Jimmy Garoppolo? Do you understand what that says?
That
Like,
he's worse than you think. And you know what? And you know what? So here's where I piggyback off of you. You know that quarterback that used to be in Washington that came out of Ohio State in the first round named Dwayne Haskins?
oh God, he's on the roster in Pittsburgh.
He's still on the roster because they decided to give him the original round tender as a restricted free agent, which means he has the quote unquote first round tender at 2 point something $1 million. So they willing to have Mitch Trubisky, Mason Rudolph, and Dwayne Haskins on their team at quarterback over Jimmy Garoppolo. Ladies and
Make it
gentlemen,
make sense.
ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, that is a low down dirty shame.
But yet still you have John Lynch strutting around like a peacock with his chest stuck out. Well, we ain't gonna let Jimmy go for less than 2 first rounders or 2 second rounders. Hey man, go on and take a fifth or a sixth and get him off the books, man. Get him out of there. The reason why you hadn't heard about the 49ers making a whole lot of signings in free agents because we ain't got no money. But guess what? That could be easily fixed if you get rid of your quarterback that you know is not your quarterback of the future. And I know there's a bunch of Jimmy Garoppolo apologists, okay? And I don't care, okay? I'm just being real. Anybody who understands and knows football knows that the 49ers have had success over the last few years in spite of Jimmy Garoppolo, not because of him. Okay. I'm tired of this. He's a winner. He's a winner. He literally went along for the ride. He went along for the ride. It's literally like when you're in school and you have a group project, and Jimmy Garoppolo is the guy that brought the package of notebook paper. That's all he did on the project, but he still get an A. You know, Debo did most of the writing. Nick Bosa did most of the research. Jimmy just went along for the ride. He bought a pack of notebook paper, and he gets the A.
And the pencil that he brought wasn't sharpened.
He was eating the eraser. So, like, and I'm not like a lot of people that don't understand. I am a staunch 49ers fan, but I'm a realistic fan. And at the end of the day, you got to get this guy off the books. He is not worth the 25 million you holding on to him for. You can use that money for so much more. We have issues in the secondary. Now, granted, we signed Travarius Ward from Kansas City, who's a very underrated corner. He's like fourth.
That's
He's like fourth in cornerbacks last year in PFF in receptions allowed.
can I say
You
something
know,
about your can I say something about your Davis Ward?
yeah.
I wish that we had not traded him to Kansas City for that offensive
That's right.
lineman.
He was undrafted. He was undrafted free agent in Dallas, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
Yes, he was. And we loved him coming out of college, but that's the only way we felt like we can get that backup offensive lineman out of Kansas City was by trading him. And so we did. And that backup offensive lineman, I forgot his name. I don't know where in the world he is. He might be working for UPS. He might be flipping burgers for McDonald's. Um, I wish we'd have captured that. That's a player I wish we'd have kept because who knows what he could have been right now for Dallas.
When you talk about holding on to players who, you know, have overstayed their welcome and are costing the team too much just because of sentimentality, or you think they have more of a value than what they really do. Let me tell you something. We'd have gotten rid of Jimmy Garoppolo a long time ago. Maybe Lakin Tomlinson would still be a 49.
Mm,
That whole left side of that line was fantastic. You had Trent Williams, who was the best football player in the NFL according to PFF last year. Not best left tackle, not best lineman, best football player. He had the highest PFF grade of any player in the NFL last year. And then you had Lakin Tomlinson, who was quietly good and finally made his break into the Pro Bowl last year. But we probably would still have Lakin Tomlinson if Jimmy Garoppolo was gone. We would probably have DJ Jones, who's one of our best run-stopping defensive tackles, if Jimmy Garoppolo was gone. And there's a host of other free agents we still have that we don't know if we're going to be able to re-sign because why Jimmy Garoppolo is still on the books. I mean, my God. And like I said, I don't want to sit up here and harp about that, but I mean, it's just not, it's a no-brainer. It's literally a no-brainer, you know. So Chandler Jones, Stephon Gilmore, Teron Armstead, these are all guys that I'm trying to figure out why they haven't been signed yet this late in the game. I'm still looking down at my phone thinking something finna happen with these guys because with Jones and Gilmore, it maybe age plays something into it, or maybe they behind the scenes they're getting offers, but we ain't hearing nothing from Schefter and none of these other guys saying, hey, such and such have reached out and da 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 da. Now we have had a little news about Stephon Gilmore.
right.
Just a little bit. When the 49ers signed Shavarius Ward, they stepped out of the Stephon Gilmore sweepstakes. And I'm kind of pleased at that because Stephon Gilmore is
31,
32.
31, 32, somewhere in that range. Let me
Yeah. And
see.
that's not saying that he's washed. I'm not saying that, but you're gonna get more years out of this younger guy, 6'1", 195, 4'40". Stephon Gilmore is still a very, very good player. But I mean, if you're gonna spend some money, go ahead and spend it on the young cat.
Yeah, he's 31. Hold his Ward again.
25.
Oh, that's a young guy.
Yes,
That's a
sir.
young guy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And the thing
So
about it, and the thing about it is, he has deep playoff experience because he's been in Kansas City this whole time.
absolutely, the boy got a ring.
He has a ring. He's been to Super Bowl what twice? Been to AFC Championship game 3 or 4 times. I
Mhm.
mean, that's deep playoff experience. You can't. I mean, you can't replace it, but you can't. That's a lot to replace, man.
Yeah.
That's a lot to replace. And you guys have Nick Bosa, the Russia passer. Um, I see that you gave D Ford a restructure of a contract, so sound like
Yeah,
he's
just to
going.
create room for Travers Ward. That's all
No,
it
what?
is.
I mean, I get it, but I mean, to be able to rush a passer like that and then Ward back there corner, that's good. That's
I,
good.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't even think D Ford is gonna. I think we're probably gonna release him June 1st.
You think so?
Yeah, because he's too much of an injury liability. I'd rather spend that money on somebody like Arden Key, Jordan Willis, some of these younger pass rushers. Samson Ebukam, who's still under contract, but I mean, I would extend him because late in the season he really came on.
Right.
Um, Arden Key and Jordan Willis. I mean, not Jordan Willis. Arden Key and Samson Ebukam both came on. But it's about managing the money the right way. People lose their minds because we kind of went off on a tangent. I always do that, talking about my team, and I shouldn't. But teams tend to lose their minds during this period of time, and they don't really. We talked about before we went on the air. You can feast now, but you might be starving later.
Right.
because you overpay for guys, or you reach for a guy who's done some great things but is on the backside of their career. And the key to it is that if you're gonna sign a guy for what he's projected to be, not for what he's done in the past. You know,
Right.
so a lot of people look at that. Oh my God, I still don't understand how Kirk Cousins is not in correctional facilities in Minnesota for grand larceny.
Oh, that's another one who's overpaid. He keeps
Ooh,
getting, and you not just overpaid, not just overpaid, fully guaranteed, not just fully guaranteed, 100% fully guaranteed salary year after year after year.
the
After
only
those two,
quarterback that I can
after
think of that has stolen more money than him is Brock Osweiler.
after those two franchise tags in Washington, this man keeps getting 100% fully guaranteed money, and that's a low down dirty shame. And you're right, he should be arrested in
That
the
is
state of
that's grand larceny.
Minnesota.
Come on, come on with me now, somebody. I'm like when they put that extension on him, I was like, are y'all for real right now?
And guess what made it even worse? They put a no trade clause in his contract.
Man, man. Like what do you like what's really going on, man?
Why
You
would you
know,
give him so much that much leverage?
and you like that? I guess he do like that. I don't know.
Well, like it, he loves it.
Yeah, because like I'm serious. Like he is running out of the building with the bag and has not done a lot to contribute to the success of the Minnesota Vikings. So that's talking about overpaying. But that's like I said, free agent market people just kind of just lose their mind. Like teams lose their mind. Like it's really the teams that kind of play it close to the vest, be conservative. Okay, we got a couple of spots that we need to kind of strengthen, or or we need to go ahead and get some more depth pieces, or we need to plan for down the road or something like that. And at the end of the day, you build through the draft, you supplement through free agency.
Thank
Teams
you.
that try teams that try to build through free agency, they usually don't have long-term success.
And but see, what everybody's doing is they saw what the Rams did, and everybody's going crazy now.
And
So
the Rams are currently $23 million over the cap.
and their left tackle just retired today.
Right. And Von Miller looking at trying to go to Dallas.
Hey,
You know,
so
you know,
all this running, all this let's run it back, let's run it back. That's a whole
and
lot of that's
I
a whole lot.
laughed at that.
There's a whole lot of chatter, but
When I tell you
it it, it, it,
I giggled at that.
it's a whole lot of chatter. It's a whole lot of chatter, but it's not. It may not happen. Let's find out.
Yeah,
As far as bringing the team, as far as bringing them back together, because like I said, Von Miller could be in Dallas. Odell Beckham still a free agent. Whitworth retired. We don't know.
yeah. So like I'm just, and let's be real. The NFC West is still the NFC West. Well, not Seattle. But the NFC West is because I'm sorry, Drew Lock at quarterback in Seattle does not frighten me at all. But you still got to contend with San Francisco and Arizona.
Well, I
You
tell you
still
what.
got,
I tell you what. Drew Lock gonna look like Jay Cutler against D'Angelo Hall.
hmm, was it four of them? Four.
For
Yeah. So yeah, I'm like, boy, that blew up in Seattle's face. I keep going back to that. That plan blew up in their face. Like, man, like we're gonna get all these draft picks. We're gonna trade Russell Wilson. Our defense still trash, but we gonna get Deshaun Watson.
hmm.
Deshaun was like, "She, I ain't going out there."
Nope. So now they got draft well. Good luck, because they usually don't.
And let's be honest. This quarterback class, I'm not gonna say that because just like if we say that, there's gonna be somebody that's gonna come out that we didn't even think about. That's gonna be a beast.
And that's true.
Usually that
But
happens.
but but you said one, and most draft classes have at least two or three.
Yeah. So no, it's not a good class. Let me clarify. It's not a very good class this year. But I guarantee there's gonna be somebody out of this class. It's not gonna be Willis. It's not gonna be Pickett. It could be, but it might be somebody that we're not really looking at. That just like, hey, where this kid came from. oh, he was drafted in the 5th round in 2022. Like, oh my God, this kid is sick. It could happen.
It could
You know
happen.
why it could happen? Because it happened with Russell Wilson. He's a 3rd rounder.
Hey,
So it happened with Joe Montana. He was a 3rd rounder. And that was back when they had like what 12 rounds of the draft in '79.
hey, look.
So
If you really want to go there, Roger Staubach coming out of the Navy, and he came out like around 7 or 10 or something like that. I can't forget what round it was, but whatever.
yeah. So, but yeah, this at face value, this draft class is not very strong. This quarterback draft class is not very strong. When we start evaluating positions for the combine, as like Pastor says, I go to my seat. Um, as we start to talk about these position groups, I think that's going to be a very short show when we talk about quarterbacks. But or it's going to be people going to say, "Oh, y'all so negative," because we're going to have a lot to talk about with that. So, as we wrap up tonight, um, don't forget to subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, on
Apple
Apple,
and
uh,
Google Podcasts.
Google Podcasts. Don't forget to go to our YouTube page, Just a Fan Podcast, and subscribe because we need subscribers. And most importantly, when you do subscribe, go ahead and leave comments on videos because that gives us material to talk about the next week. Because if we like your comments and we see your comments and we're like, okay, I didn't think about it that way, we can bring that up in the discussion. Currently on live on Twitter. We're currently live on Facebook. Watch. Interact with us. We don't want to just sit up here and talk all night to ourselves. We want to interact with our viewers, and we know we got some viewers. But yeah, let's go ahead and let's keep the party going. So we're gonna watch this. We're gonna continue to talk about this free agency frenzy. Go to our Facebook page because we're gonna have discussions on there. Brandon is real good about making posts. He makes about 5 a day. I don't know how he has time, but let let's talk about it. We like football. If you're watching, you love football. Let's talk about it because there's no off season in the NFL.
Nope.
Let's be real. The NFL is year round. Those of us who are real fans. So so for on behalf of Steve White and Tristan Morris who couldn't make it tonight, I'm Pando Eric Wright signing off.
And this is Brandon, the one that everyone calls the NFL encyclopedia. I disagree, but okay. We ran cover 2 tonight. Hopefully next week we're back to running cover 4. It look like
Let's
the
run
four
quarters.
horsemen. Let's
Yeah.
run quarters, baby. Look like the 4 horsemen again.
All right. So this is just a fan podcast signing out. Peace.
Peace.